Hello everybody, how are you? My name is Shelly. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, I'm so glad you guys came back around. As coronavirus is becoming the new norm, there's been a flux of just beautiful palettes out there. And I recently posted my Instagram a question of, out of these kind of 3 new releases, which one should I film with next? And the response I got was the Garden Variety from Colourpop. I picked up a couple things from this collection, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to see if a lady of a certain age who's not a makeup artist, if we can come up with a few different looks using this one palette. I did not pick up the Wild Nothings palette. I didn't pick up anything from the, well, and I did pick up a couple products from the Wild Nothings release, a couple lip oils and one of the Jelly Much eyeshadow, but I didn't really pick up anything else from the Wild Nothings collection. I didn't pick up anything from the Coca-Cola collaboration, and I probably am not going to get anything from the Candyland. It just doesn't really appeal to me all that much. I hope you guys can appreciate that. I do try to pick and choose. I don't like literally get every release that's out there. Maybe we would just kind of play with some of the products we got today. This is actually a set of face mist. This says Thirsty Morning on it. This one says it's a moisturizing mist. I don't really need any more moisturizer on my face right now, but oh, it's a very nice light floral scent. If you're okay with something that's more of a heavy fragrance, but that has a nice, like, refreshing, especially if it's super hot out, that might actually be good. Okay, I have been really enjoying the new Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Foundation, but I'm going to go back to the tinted moisturizer because I feel like it's been a while since I've used this on camera, and I actually really do like it. I'm just going to use that right over the top of that mist, which dried down very quickly. This tinted moisturizer is probably one of my favorite tinted moisturizers that I've ever used. A hint of color, but good for dry skin. I really like this tinted moisturizer. And once that foundation came out, I've hardly been using this at all. I figured since we're doing a Colourpop eye palette, why not do mostly, if not all, Colourpop products? Why not? I've got enough of them. I think this is light 8N. It's either 8N or 6N. It's hard for me to read the print, and it's not new. I did notice one thing about this tinted moisturizer though, and that is if you don't use it for a while, it may kind of separate. But with this type of packaging, you can just kind of mix it still back up in there. I love how moisturized my skin feels, but I do want it to kind of dry down a little bit before we do any of the blush or face product. This is the Garden Variety Colourpop palette. It is a 15, oops, I just lost the sheet. It's a 15 pan palette. The theme is very, you know, summery, springy, garden variety, succulents all over the front of it. I like succulents because frankly, they don't require as much watering. And I don't know why, but over the years, I have gotten a little bit less accurate on my watering schedule. I kind of forgot. I do actually want to go in with a little bit of their concealer. So they've got a Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid concealer as well. And I kind of forgot to put that on here. I don't know when this is going to go up. Hopefully within the next week. I do have some stuff kind of filmed that I haven't edited yet. So I try to do them in order. If I get a request or a new release, sometimes I bump things up or I'll throw in an extra video. Your eye is immediately going to go to this sparkly row right here in the middle. And that makes sense. I mean, we've got this bright green, we've got a bright purple, we've got a bright coral. And we do have a yellow. Oh, that's another one. I'm probably not going to get the Sunflower collection just because I have Honey, and then I have the Urban Decay Naked Honey. I feel like I've got a lot of yellow, and I don't really wear yellow all that much. And it's a palette of mattes, which is fine. Like, I'm not opposed to a palette of matte, but I don't know. It just does. It's not really screaming, hey, you need this. Now, I could change my mind. I don't have every Colourpop palette. So you guys, one thing I really do like about this palette is I feel like you could do a look down one of these rows, and frankly a lot of the columns too. This one maybe not so much because you've got, oh, I just ran my fingernail through there. You've got a satin or a sequin in there with some shimmers. That might be a little hard to pull off. That would be beautiful. Yeah, so I think some of these, like the little rows, give you a super fast, quick, easy look. And you don't have to think too much. And then of course I always look for squares of, you know, looks. Can I pull something off? I usually want at least 1, if not 2 mattes and 1, maybe 2 shimmers. I don't know. I do like the fact that they've been throwing in more of these sequins the sequin formula and less of the glitters. Those big glitters are just, they're hard. A pop of glitter on occasion can be a lot of fun, but man, glitter all over for no reason. I don't know that I love that. I want to do a warm look. I want to do a cooler look, and I want to do kind of a fun look. You can do nudes all day, every day. They cease to become interesting. Some of these other colors are a little bit more on the nude side, but we're going to kind of jump around instead of staying in any particular order. If that's okay with you guys. I'm going to start with this shade right here, which is a light, soft peach color called Prickly Please. There is no mirror in this palette, but it is very pretty. It does have the shade names on it, which is nice. I didn't put down any eyelid primer. Maybe I will on my next look. I was hoping this would just be like a fast video, but if I'm doing 3 looks, it's probably going to be a little bit on the longer side. I can already tell you this is typical Colourpop product. You get a little tiny bit of kick up depending on the brush that you use. It doesn't really seem to be skipping or patchy, and it does build up a little bit. I think it probably would be a lot more vibrant if I had used a eyelid primer. I think I want to try Over the Bloom as a crease shade. I think Over the Bloom, it has a nice, almost like a pink undertone to it, but yet still a warm apricot-y, corally color. And definitely not a shade that I wear on a daily basis. It does transition from that lighter shade very nicely. I'm going to take Sucka For You, which is this one right here. It's number 4. And because it's a satin formula, I'm just going to use it on my finger and just press it in on the outer part of my eyelid. And I think when you press it in, you definitely get the shimmer coming from that formula. But it's a really pretty, more like a burgundy, kind of a wine shade. Once I have the majority of that color on, I'm gonna just buff it a little bit around the outside. I keep holding this like it's got a mirror in it, and it doesn't. So I'm gonna switch to an actual mirror. Wow, that's really dirty. You guys, these colors blend so beautifully. We've got the shade Don't Leaf right here, which is kind of like a copper color, just on the inner portion of that movable eyelid as well. Oh, gorgeous. Wow. If you guys are ever interested in a Colourpop palette and you're just not sure how the colors are going to work, how they're going to pan out, is it going to be actual saturated color, are they going to be a sheer wash of color, I highly recommend you subscribe to That Girl Shay XO. She's a younger YouTube artist. However, she does these live swatching videos. She's very enthusiastic. She's very effervescent when it comes to Colourpop shades, but she's also honest. She'll tell you if it's like, doesn't blow my skirt up. It's not something that really, you know, she loves. Because she does these live eye swatches, and she's got beautiful eyelids to begin with, but when she does them, you really get a sense for how the color's going to turn out. Highly recommend it. I have bought a number of palettes just because when she swatched them, the colors were unexpected or so beautiful. And she's very knowledgeable too. She does a pretty good job of telling you if it's a new shade, a new formula, something that they haven't done before. I feel like she knows all things about it. Okay, those colors I am thrilled with. I think I'm going to use that same sequined called Sucka For You, which is kind of the plummy purpley one. Down here a little bit. I like it. I do feel like maybe I'm a little low right here. I'll try to bring this up just a little bit. Because of my hooded lids, I really feel like I need to kind of come like this with some of the eyeshadows. Otherwise, they get a little low, a little droopy. I'm not going to go in with the darkest color, but I'm going to go in with that crease shade just to kind of bring this up just a little bit. One of the things that I like about the Colourpop shadows as well that I have found is that they do layer very beautifully. I've got some Colourpop volumizing mascara. This is kind of in a brown shade. We're just going to put on a quick coat and I'll be right back. Mascara's on, and I do really like that mascara. It's nice and soft and it's not crazy. I've got Coconut Beach from the Going Coconuts palette. I'm going to use that as a contour. It is a nice, more of a cool neutral toned, and I think it looks actually really flattering with that tinted moisturizer. Back into the Garden Variety Collection. This is the New Leaf duo. It has a Desert Rose Blush and a Gen Zen Lip Oil. So that's the palette. And I think all of these palettes in this collection have a different flower on the front of them. I don't know if you'd notice or not, but that's the shade right there, Desert Rose. I think it's actually really pretty. We'll see if it translates to pretty on the face. I don't know why I didn't bring in one of the Colourpop lip liners in here with me, but I do have a Wayne Goss one conveniently located, so that doesn't hurt my feelings. I do have one of the lippy sticks here. This is Lumiere. One of my favorite lippy stick shades is called Aquarius. When I went to go buy a backup of it, they didn't have it anymore, so I grabbed Lumiere, and it's actually pretty. And I think it goes with kind of the corally, plummy eye look. Okay, with that, okay, bouncing back over here to blush. We're just gonna grab a little bit of this. Pretty soft wash of color, buildable, not shimmery or shiny, which is nice because then I can bring it in a little bit further. I do really feel like the Colourpop formulas really blend with each other very well. And you don't always get that with a line of products. It's almost like nobody tested them together, but I really feel like these guys got tested together. So this is the Gen Zen Lip Oil, and we're just putting it right over the top of that lippy. And these lip oils are not a gloss. I know it seems like maybe I'm treating it like a gloss, but it is so moisturizing, and I feel like my lips were pretty dry. I'm wiping it back off before I put it back in the tube. I feel like my lips were a little on the dry side. And sometimes when I use like a matte lipstick, it can draw attention. I probably need to exfoliate my lips. I am really liking how this looks right now, you guys. What else do I have to put on here? I do have the Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder, and I have really been enjoying this, which is kind of a surprise. Some setting powders I'm like, it's fine. But this one I think actually gives you a really good sort of airbrushed look. It just seems to be like a really, really good overall setting powder. Would I leave the house like this? Absolutely. In fact, I'm gonna wait on this glowy stuff until I come back and do a couple more looks. But that is look number 1 using the Garden Variety palette from Colourpop, brand new release. I'm gonna take this off, I'll be right back. I feel like I wanna do something with these purples in here. I'm kind of really feeling like that. I think I'm gonna use Clay Day in my crease. And then I'm gonna really just sort of buff it out above it. I did use an eyelid primer this time. And I didn't really give this eyelid primer a lot of time to dry down, so I'm just kind of tapping it on first. Kind of help set that, and then we'll buff it in a little bit more. Kind of sheer out the color so we get that nice gradient wash. The darkest purple in here, again, is another sequin formula, it looks like, and it's called Stuck on You. So I'm gonna keep that to the outer part of my eye, and we will drag it up and into my crease. And I'm gonna grab a little bit of that down below too. I think my back door is open because there's a fly in here annoying me. We're gonna use Smudge Off bumped up against that, and then we'll use Synergy as my inner corner. And this is just gonna put this all over my lid. I need to grab a flat brush, and I'm going in with Synergy just on the inner corner here and down below a little bit. I suspected I was gonna like this palette, but I wasn't sure how much. I'm gonna throw on some eyeliner really fast and some mascara, and I'll be right back. Mascara, a little bit of black eyeliner. Again, another win. I don't have any problems with this. We went from more of a peachy combination on the first look to now more of a purpley pink. Different take on the theme. I left everything else the same. Same blush, same contour, same lip, same everything else. It's really pretty. It gives you a nice change up based on what you're wearing or how you're feeling that day. Out of all of the Colourpop new releases, which one interests you the most? Am I off base? I mean, is this not the right one? Because to me, I feel like I could use this every single day and get enough of a variety out of it to make it a good investment for me personally. So you guys have to tell me what you think. Are you guys feeling this Garden Variety? It's not too sugary, saccharine, sweet. I'm really curious to see your guys' take on it and if you were planning on picking it up. Let's take this off. I'll come back with one more look. One of the things that I just thought of as I was taking off the last look, when you're not a makeup artist, sometimes you look at something and you see somebody else do it and they do this great, incredible look. And then you think, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy, I don't have the skill set maybe to pull that off. Or maybe you look at it and go, oh, it looks so easy, and then you go to try to do it and it's just like, ugh. So I'm just reminded, you guys, makeup, man, it just washes off. Just comes off. So if you make a mistake, it'll be okay. My hooded eye situation, I try not to do too much shiny looks up there, but I am going to take this lighter color here. It's called Herbivore. There's quite a bit of kick up in a lot of these shades. I gotta be honest, it doesn't bother me. I tend to go back in and pick up the kick up. I don't think it makes it a bad formula. I just think it's something to be cognizant of if you're putting on makeup over, oh, say a white dress or something that you don't want to get dirty. It's a nice soft shade, and again, we're building on it. We're not leaving it like this. I'm gonna take, looks like a matte in here. It's kind of a chestnutty type shade called Stay Sharp. And I wasn't gonna do it, but I think I might actually do this a little bit more of a halo look. So I'm actually gonna bring that shade all the way down and we'll connect them right up there. Now you're probably saying, hey Shel, why don't you normally do halo looks? When I do a halo and I bring in a darker color in here, it makes my eyes look closer together. And I already have pretty close eyes. And because they're small, if you're not careful, it can look a little cross-eyed. And that's one of the reasons why I normally don't do much of a halo, is I don't need any help with small eyes to begin with. I feel like this shade makes a good color if you're defining what you want the shape to be, because it's not a crazy, like, bold color. It's gonna be it's a background color. Like, it's gonna fade away. You're not gonna see that color. That's not going to be your focal point, but I do really like the shade. I think it's super versatile. I'm going to go back in over the top with the shade Best Buds, which is this bright green. And again, I'm putting it on with my finger because I want it to be a little bit more saturated, but it's going right in the center of that eyelid that I left intentionally blank. I like that color up against my lash line too, because I feel like it gives my eyes a little bit more roundedness, which is kind of fun. Again, changing the shape, crazy. Now, you guys know I'm no expert, right? I'm sure there's better techniques. They're just observations. And if you're a real makeup artist and you're like, oh, you're doing it wrong, I'm fine with that. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me if you recommend something different. It's just sometimes kind of fun just to play with different shapes, different techniques. Especially when you're doing 3 looks with a single palette, sometimes it's nice to know if you can be versatile and try different looks and, I don't know, different ways of doing things. Okay, not leaving that exactly as it is right now, but I do really like the color. I'm gonna go in with the darkest shade in the palette, which is a cool brown. And again, it looks like it's gonna be another sequin shade, and it's called Root 'em Up. And that's gonna go up against my lash line, and then we'll just kind of bring it up just a little bit. And then we're gonna blend that out a little bit. I really do feel like this palette is so versatile that you can get a ton of different looks. I'm digging this palette, you guys. Okay, right, I'm gonna go in with my background shade under my lower lash line, but then I wanna use the golden here called Third Eye to really bring that lower lash line up a notch. So now I'm using Third Eye, which is the gold in here that I just dug my nail into. Ruining this palette here. And we're putting it right in the middle underneath where I've got the green. And then I'm also going to put it in the center. Soft gold. I am going to, I guess, do some eyeliner and some mascara, and I'll be right back. And now, because the eyes are a little bit more earth toned, I guess I would say, I'm going to go in with this lip oil that also came from the Going Wild collection. Because again, I didn't buy very many pieces from that. I didn't buy the palette. I wanted to try these lip oils. So this one is the shade Playa Vista. And I did use the same lip liner that I used before. But I didn't put anything all over my lips. Just like a hint of warmth. That kind of lip oil shine. I really like these greens and the browns. It's completely different. It's completely different than the last 2 looks. I have 0 regrets on this. And we're gonna try this shimmer spray here. I'm gonna spray it on my arm first. Kind of see what we're looking at here. I didn't do any highlighter today. Feels nice. And I don't see like a ton of glistening dewiness. Feels light and refreshing, and I don't have any issues with it, you guys. Colourpop Garden Variety. It's a win for me. I have zero buyer's remorse. I honestly feel like I can get a lot of use out of this palette. And that's always kind of the question, you know, is it going to be a waste of your money? Is it going to be a one look and done? Or can you be, through makeup, the Renaissance women that we are? You know, can you have a different mood, a different outfit, a different look? I'm going to use this just on my day-to-day. I already feel like I could get a lot of different looks out of it. Again, it's the simple cardboard packaging. There's no mirror in it. There is a magnetic closure. You do have the shade names on the back as well, but it's awfully fine point, so you might need your reading glasses if you're a lady of a certain age. Otherwise, lip oils are great. The blush is pretty. Another good makeup day, you guys. I want to remind you guys, I am not a makeup artist. I'm just a lady of a certain age who just likes to play with makeup and likes to experiment and likes to be reminded at the end of the day, even if you do make mistakes, it just washes off. I feel like summer is kind of winding down, and am I ready for fall? Am I ready for warm clothes and fires in the fireplace? Or am I just kind of like, oh, we never even got spring, let alone summer? I feel like we're missing some seasons this year. 2020, man, it's going to be one of those on the books of a year of what were you doing when kind of a thing, I guess. What did you do all summer? Did you waste your summer? Did you actually do anything interesting? I have mixed feelings. Some days I feel like, oh yeah, I got this done. And I would say probably the most dramatic thing, or the most, I don't know, the most life-changing event of my summer 2020 was just started working out. You know, we got a gym kind of put together in the garage. It's gonna be awfully tight in there come winter. But for now, I mean, I go in there and it's now something that I feel like I want to do every day. So I'm pretty happy about that. I actually feel really healthy. It's crazy to think of, but I do. Gosh, I hope you guys are doing really well. I would love for you guys to leave me a comment down below. Tell me, what is the biggest thing you guys have done this summer? What's like the most eye-opening light bulb moment that you've had? I would love to hear what it is. I just know that I'm thinking about you. Feel free to follow me over on Instagram, Sheli Tsunami. Otherwise, until my next video, bye for now.